Most people think that flattering when it comes to activewear comes in creating and more tightly fitted garments. It's in that the tighter and the more compressive my garment, the more flattering it's going to look. But a lot of the shaping that you ultimately see in activewear has nothing to do with squeezing the body or trying to get as tight on the bicep as possible. It comes down to the lines. The lines are ultimately what create the visual intrigue that call attention to specific parts of the body that can either make you look broader than you are, more narrow than you are, more curvaceous than you are. So what I want to do is I want to break down in today's episode the flattering zone map, ultimately for men. What and how we can call attention to specific parts of the body to broaden the shoulders, to create more structured chest, to narrow the waist, ultimately to call attention and to bring out the best in the physique. We'll split it up into two sections, men's tops and men's bottoms. And if this episode gets a good amount of engagement, I'm going to do a women's version in the future. So without further ado, let's get into it. My name is Shadi. I'm the co-founder and creative director of FittDesign, the world's first sportswear design agency. And I've literally worked with thousands of sportswear brands over the last 10 years to help them design, develop, and produce activewear. So I've learned what it takes to really create angular designs that look phenomenal. And I'll give you a couple examples here, and here. So ultimately, without further ado, let's get right into it. Before we get into it, the two core principles to remember is that vertical lines, when drawn, ultimately lengthen the physique, whether it's tops and bottoms, and angles or shapes call and draw attention to specific parts, and horizontal lines create breadth and width to your lines. So what we want to understand is that as you watch this video, imagine that you're placing arrows. Ultimately, either the seam is going to pull your attention to a specific part of the body, or it's going to broaden it or expand it or compress it. The effect that we're going for will indicate what type of seam and what direction of seam we end up using. So in general, to understand in a body, in a physique, if we look at the male physique, we want to understand what is the flattering zone map for activewear. These are going to be things like the structure zones. So for men, it's going to be things like the shoulders, the chest, and the waist. These are the things that create core structure in the body. Next, you're going to have what are known as your power zones. These are going to be things like your hips, your glutes, and your thighs, which is much more prevalent for women. And ultimately, you're going to have what is known as your motion zones. These are areas in your body in which your body is flexing and your body is moving. These are going to be places like your elbows, your knees, and ultimately areas around your underarm and your thighs. And ultimately, if your lines respect your motion zones, your garment is going to look a lot more well put together. A case in point of this is you tend to not see on quality activewear lines going across the knees or the elbows. They're very uncomfortable, and those are areas where a lot of friction can happen if you're building in heavy and very thick and bulky seams into the design. So let's get into it with section 1, men's tops. If you look at men's tops, you ultimately want to portray broad shoulders and a narrow waist. So everything that you must be doing should call attention to broadening out your shoulders and narrowing in your waist to give you that illusion of a V taper. So when it comes to how you can do this, look at shoulder expansion lines. These are ultimately going to be things that work to bring out the breadth in your shoulder. Typically what I like to do here is I have either a raglan seam that's structured. We call this a saddle sleeve, which structures around the shoulders, giving you the appearance of broad shoulders. Or you might have a yoke on the back, which again broadens out the back and broadens out the shoulders on the back. And lastly, you would definitely want to have some sort of detailing on the actual sleeve panel themselves to again call attention to bringing your eye in and out of the shoulder to create that broader effect. What you want to avoid here is ultimately curvaceous lines on the shoulders that cap the sleeves too much, that give you the appearance of a feminine look. So I typically tend to avoid lines that kind of come in from the inside of the bicep outwards, especially if they're very curvaceous, because that tends to look very bad and it tends to work much better on women instead of men. As a quick rule, if you want to broaden out the shoulders, my recommendation is your lines should open up near the shoulder, not near the chest. So if you want to open up the shoulders, then open them up more towards the tops rather than opening them more towards the middle of the chest, because you're not going to get the effect that you want ultimately. Next up is the chest structure lines. And what works here are going to be horizontal lines or slightly angular chest lines that feel like you're giving the appearance of an armored look. We've all seen the knight in armor, and ultimately that chest plate aesthetic is what we're going for. It's not a coincidence that what is conceived as something that is powerful and masculine also aligns with the way that we actually build our armor and we build our base layer suits in the military and in historic war sort of memorabilia. So understanding that we want to frame the chest is key. What you want to do is also have clean side panels underneath the chest that again continue the framing. So if you're going to have one core framing around the chest, you can have panels that come and add value to the sides of the chest from the bottom that kind of draw out the rest of the physique. What you want to avoid here is seams that ultimately splice in down the middle of the chest, or too many lines in the chest which call a heavy attention to the chest, which can be quite a feminine trait. Next up, we have the waist taper lines, and ultimately these are going to be the side panels that angle inwards and will go slightly in as they go down. What that's trying to do is it's trying to give you that V taper effect. Ultimately, what you want to have is vertical seams that run closer to the body on the lower half. So basically, they start wide and they come in towards the belly button as they go down. What you want to also potentially do if you are implementing color blocking or color designs is opt for darker shades on the waist to create that slimming effect and to give you further illusion. If you're using materials, then consider a more compressive material on the sides to further emphasize that V-taper effect. A quick example here is if you want to create a general men's athletic t-shirt to make it look much more powerful, much more sporty, my recommendation is tend to keep it more clear around the chest area if you're framing the chest, and have a lot of the seam work come in from the side inwards. That's what's going to help you accentuate that V-taper. So avoid overdoing anything on the chest area. Section 2, and we'll get into men's bottoms. So how could we create a more athletic and more powerful look to men's bottoms without giving them that feminine look? Because with men's bottoms, ultimately less is going to be more, and the more accentuation, the more line work you have on a men's bottom, the more you can actually call attention to areas of the body that you don't want to call attention to specifically for masculine apparel. So what are the things that you want to do? Well, number one is you want to emphasize the thighs without looking tight, because if you create too much visual intrigue on the thighs, it ends up making the garment look very tight and almost like a superhero suit. So what you want is you want to have lines that run on the outer thigh and then angle in slightly forward. These are going to be panels that frame the quad and frame the caps of the knee. You ultimately want to keep this from the side, not coming in from the back, because anything that draws attention in from the back draws attention to the glutes, which is not something that we want to do. You want to keep minimal seams on the seat or on the rear, again, to avoid calling too much attention to that area. I try to avoid having curvaceous yoke panels on the back that can structure or that can create too much of a framing effect on the rear. So in this case, what you want to avoid is lines ultimately, or seams that cut across the glutes that give you that lifting effect that is typically very prevalent on women's apparel. And you also want to avoid having any sort of center back seaming or shaping in the back rise that digs in and calls even more attention to the glutes themselves. Next up, we're going to have lengthening lines in your bottoms. So what you want to pretty much go for are vertical lines that come up from the hip to the ankle. Again, this just creates a nice lengthening effect in the area where it can give you the appearance of being taller than you are. Second, you want to avoid, or you want to have side panels that are consistent in terms of their structure, so straight up and down, as opposed to overly wavy, which can give you much more of a curvaceous look than what you want. And then lastly, I recommend avoiding heavy horizontal breaks, especially in the knee area, unless there's a performance reason, you're adding in some sort of mobility, some sort of gusset, then that's something to consider. Last up is C, which is your knee and your calf structure. What you definitely want to avoid is, or what you want to do is, you want to have panels that call attention and support movement zones, specifically around the knee articulation. The last thing that you want to do is you want to have cuts right across the knee, which can be very, very uncomfortable for activewear garments, especially if you're going to be using them and you're going to be sweating in the garments. That's just a recipe for rash. And lastly, you want to make sure that if there are line breaks in your design, that you're placing them above and below the knee, not on the widest part of the knee, again, just for comfort. So that's a general structure for how you can combine lines and line work to accentuate the physique for men on tops and bottoms. If you guys want to see me do a separate episode in the future for women, where I take you through how you can call out and how you can create and craft a more curated look for women that's more flattering, then consider letting us know in the episode in the comments below why you want to see it, and I'll definitely put it into the pipeline. Guys, I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fit Design TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.